Mark, let me ask you. Wait, I want to ask you because it broke today that George W. Bush, former president, and former First Lady Laura Bush have confirmed that they did not vote for Donald Trump today. They also say they did not vote for Hillary Clinton, and they didn't specify what that means, who they did vote for, or if they did a write-in. And that, I think that, among other things, has led Kellyanne Conway to come out and say we could have used more support from top Republicans like the former presidents. Does she have a point, Mark?
Well, this is not just one president, it's all the former presidents. I mean, didn't have support, so that says something about what they think about this candidacy and the campaign and the messaging. I mean, the thing that drew me to then Governor Bush as a former Democrat was a message of compassionate conservatism, to expand the base on immigration reform, education reform. Those are the kinds of issues. And by the way, as we talk about the Hispanic vote, I remember early on we said we have to win at least 40% of that vote in 2000. We got 41, and what are the numbers we're looking at now?
We'll see. Look, there's a reason that she may have brought it up, but you'll notice Donald Trump has not brought this up since May. He's not been talking about getting the President Bushes. I met with him at the end of May, and he brought this up to me personally. And I said to him, in essence, do you really want to pursue this issue? You called for the impeachment of President George W. Bush. You voted for John Kerry in 2004. You said that George W. Bush deliberately lied about the presence of WMD in Iraq in order to provoke a war. You said that he had advanced knowledge of the 9/11 attacks and allowed 3,000 Americans to die deliberately. And do you really want to, do you really expect him to say nice things about you? But the implicit thing was, do you want to have these issues litigated? I mean, imagine what would happen. Somebody would say, you know, President Bush, what do you have to say about him believing that you should have been impeached? Donald Trump, do you think he still should have been impeached? Do you think your vote for John Kerry was justified? I said, this is a loser for you. Most Republicans are unaware that you've said these things. Let it lie. And he did. He let it lie for the rest of the campaign. When one of his surrogates stepped forward and said in an article, I think Bush's ought to come out and endorse him, I called that surrogate and said, I had this conversation with your principal, and he had this, and this was his response. And the surrogate said, you know what, I didn't know that he'd said those things. You're right, we ought to drop this. So President Bush, I think, has handled this in the appropriate way by simply staying on the sidelines. Donald Trump did not want to have an argument with the American people about whether or not he was justified in saying Bush should have been impeached, John Kerry should have been elected, Bush lied about WMD, and Bush
not to mention Trump and Jeb didn't get along that well. That was not the highlight of the campaign for some. Great to see you both, and much more.
Thanks.
With Mark and Karl.
Something about energy or something.